And one thing that I think that's so exciting and why I loved reaching out to you and really learning from you, I think you're one of the greatest ambassadors the sport have. You truly show that anybody can play. You truly show that there's a competitive side to it, but you truly motivate people to want to go out there and play because you show the activity is fun, the activity has style, the activity has a little soul. And, you know, not a lot of athletes are good at doing that.
This episode is sponsored by Bemer Therapy. If you guys want to check out Bemer, a great medical device. I've been using it for a long time now. I sleep on it. I use it morning and night. You can go to my website, TysonMcGuffin.com, and see what Bemer's all about. What's going on? My name is Tyson McGuffin. Welcome to the McGuffin Show. Got a special guest on today. Got to meet this man in Orange County about a month ago. Guy is one of the biggest hustlers I know. He owns a jewelry and clothing business called Jaxxon. I've been rocking some of that ice. I've been rocking some of that gear. You guys may have seen me in a green sexy sweater that says Jaxxon all over it on the pod. My man Bear, how are you, bro?
What's going on, bro? It's a pleasure to be on here. I appreciate you.
Oh,
I don't know if you got to say, but I actually got to meet you and then watch you smash in Orange County.
Yeah,
it was pretty exciting,
my man. And you know, Santa dropped off a couple of Selkirk Power Airs at his business, and I believe now all of his employees are playing with that brand new, good-looking white Power Air. You've been liking that paddle?
Unprecedented power. I've never felt something like that. I feel like I have Thor's hammer in my hand when I go on the courts with that thing. It's just unbelievable what my left and my right can do now that I have that. Actually, just so we're clear, I actually never leave the house without this thing. I keep that thing on me at all times.
That's too funny. So hey, before meeting me, did you play any pickle?
Yeah, I played a little bit of pickleball. I was trashed. But I did play a little bit of pickleball. I mean, I'm trash at ping pong too. Yeah. So anything with a paddle, I'm kind of trash with. But yeah, I did play a little bit. It was fun. After meeting you, I actually was like, all right, I got to get good.
Love it. And bro, honestly, I should do like an employee camp for everybody at Jaxxon there. Honestly, take care of you guys. We should go out to Nobu after. Make it a weekend.
Oh, we need that. 100% we need that.
So hey, if you don't mind, tell my viewers your story, the hustle, kind of how you got to where you're at now. I just want to let all my viewers know, I mean, the time that we spent together, I've never met anybody so driven, motivated, and literally is just built on hustle, bro. So I got a lot of respect for you.
I appreciate those words coming from a guy who does like 3 hours of warm-ups before finals. I don't think there's anybody who has more drive and hustle than you. But yeah, I mean, to kind of break it down, you know, I grew up in the paintball and airsoft business with my family, with my dad. We have a couple of the largest paintball and airsoft parks in the world, Hollywood Sports, SC Village, a new facility in Dallas called Giant Party Sports. And growing up in the paintball and airsoft business, you know, these are like mini amusement parks, do over 500,000 customers a year. And I grew up actually playing pro paintball, but also being on the business side, right? So working with my dad, working with my family, kind of learning the grassroots of marketing. This was like pre-social media, and kind of getting a vibe for what business can do. And business can do a lot for people. So I kind of grew up playing pro paintball, learning the business at the same time, traveling the world. You know, I played pro in Australia and Europe and Asia. This was at a time, 2007, 6, 8, when, you know, paintball had an Xbox video game, and we were sponsored by brands like LA Times and Milk. And I was a Monster Energy athlete, and things were just going crazy for the industry. And basically what ended up happening is during the downturn, the sport kind of turned into a more like competitive sport worldwide, but then it became more of like an amusement, a hobby, where paintball became this thing where it was like the best thing to do if you turned 10, the best thing to do if you were, you know, a little kid and you wanted to go have fun with your friends, and the business actually boomed. So that's when I kind of took a step back from playing pro paintball and got more into the business side, operating the facilities, building out the facilities. And then that's when I started my honey group, my marketing. And it's kind of an interesting story from there, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And if you don't mind telling my viewers, so how how did that whole thing work with Jake Paul and Anderson Silva? I know you kind of had told me that was like your first merch product or like your first merch launch, correct?
Yeah. So like Anderson Silva, when I was about 20 years old, so I would say 2002, I'm 31, 32. So around that time, he had just come from Brazil and he was training in LA, and I was introduced to him by another person. They're like, yo, this guy's killing it. Big UFC star, soon to be star. And I was like, dude, I got to figure out a way how to help this guy grow. He loves paintball. He was coming to my Hollywood Sports Park, showing me so much love. And I was like, there's got to be a way to kind of help him figure out the gap between merch and product and kind of bringing his brand to life. Because this was pre-Instagram, like you had Facebook, you had Twitter, things like that. And it was just kind of like a unique time for athletes. There was not a lot of, assets or avenues for them to go down to make money. So I actually did some really cool merch, like fully sublimated products. We launched those in store and online through like Big Cartel and those Shopify style sites back then.
Yep.
It popped off. We ended up doing guys like Rampage, and I did a bunch of other UFC guys at that time, and it was Fabricio Verdum. He had just won the heavyweight title, and it was going crazy. And then that kind of spawned into me working with a famous YouTuber named Jake Paul. He was in the middle of kind of like blossoming from this like YouTube star into this guy that was like going to go on a world tour and drop all these amazing hits. So he takes me on tour with him, a 3-day tour in Philly, 15,000 people, sold out crowd, Hershey Park. And we basically like go on stage. He's doing songs. I'm screwing around, just having fun. He let me go on for the ride. We get back and I'm like, dude, we got to do your own event. We got to do like your own tour, your own concert where it's just about you. So we rented out this facility in Riverside. We threw a crazy Halloween party. The guy sold like 5,000, 10,000 tickets within like 24 hours. We threw a massive concert. It was a huge success. He had Team 10 and all these amazing things going on at the time. And I was like, I started to get the idea. I started to have this like intuition of like, okay, well, social media and like events and business is all starting to kind of flow together. And this upstream way of like capitalizing on content creators, influencers, bringing brands to life in an authentic way. I was like, there's no one doing it. There's no one bridging the gap between authentic brands and people and the merch they create. And I was like, okay, I need to do something. And that's when Honey Group started.
Dope. Love that, man. A man built on hustle. And then so after that whole project, then came Jaxxon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the process of me building Honey Group, which was really like a social media meets creative agency, we were working with brands like UFC gyms and Walmart and Sam's Club and Carl's Jr. and Butterfinger and Sprite and 7-Up, all these crazy brands. And what I was doing is kind of more brand strategy. Like, these are people that can help spread your message. These are people that can create good content for you. These are people that can be good assets to the brand. This is what I think the brand should do on social and how it should activate in terms of like the language and dialogue it was having. Because I feel like a lot of brands were losing that tone. Like, a lot of brands missed a step. Like they believe they're speaking to their consumers one way. Their consumers look at their content and their copy and think and hear a completely different tone. Yeah, and this is one of the biggest misconceptions between bringing your brand from a brand point to social media. So I was really kind of trying to really get niche and perfect a certain asset marketing for brands. And then that's when that started happening. So I started investing into companies. I started thinking outside of the paintball space. At the same time, I was still building paintball brands, but I started working with energy drink companies and I started doing clothing stuff. I started doing a candy company that was in 7-Eleven. I started really kind of diving deep into, practice what you preach. If you really believe you're as good as you say you are, and if you really believe that, marketing has a unique taste to it, then, dive deep into it and believe in yourself. So I started doing that. And then through the process of that and through that stream, Jaxxon happened to be one of those brands. My partner had started it in 2019. I had watched him start it. He actually reached out to me on Instagram before he started it. He said, yo, I'm about to start this brand. Any advice? I go, I can't wait to watch you, succeed and crush. When you get to a certain level, reach back out to me and I'll come in and help you kind of scale and get to that next level. 2020 hit. He reaches out to me. I go, okay, it's time. I can come in and can really like kind of wrap this thing up. He already built an amazing foundation. I said, now I can kind of like come in and take this to the next level. So Jaxxon is an amazing, like kind of like case study of all the different forms of marketing, right? Because you have branding, you have content, you have, true classic style jewelry, you have authentic pieces that really make guys elevate their style. And then at the forefront of that, you have the most insane quality. Now you wrap that in with guys like Jock Peterson and Cody Bellinger and Ryan Sheckler, Tyson McGuffin. You wrap that in with some of the biggest celebrities in the game. And it really brings the message together, which is every guy should have a chain on. Every guy should care about their style, and every guy should want to always elevate their style, because it really does bring this level of confidence. So when we started doing that and really kind of like just really diving deep into it, it just exploded. It's so easy to feel. It's so easy to see. It's so authentic. It's so real. So it was like a home run.
Yeah, love that, man. Content is king, though, that's for sure. I mean, I probably have anywhere from 10 to 12 brand endorsements, and probably 80% of my endorsements all follow me through my content, through the podcast, through the vlogs, the educational videos, and I think I've kind of set myself apart, in that aspect. And love what you said about every man should wear a chain. Every man should look good, because it brings confidence. And someone for like myself, if I'm confident, I'm playing well, and everything else kind of falls into place, Yeah,
I mean, even a guy like you, like what I loved about you, and I reached out to you like 2 years ago, I think I went back and looked. And like what I always loved about you is your brand is so authentic. You speak who you are who you are. You don't change who you are. You don't change up based off the people around you. You didn't know me. You didn't know my guys. You didn't know my staff. You didn't know the people at Nobu. We had a great dinner, but you stayed the same guy. You are who you are. And that true authentic person, that true authentic self is what speaks volumes about people and character. And then that obviously translates into your content, into your game, into your style, the people you work with. A lot of people miss that. Everybody obviously has to learn and try to feel and grow in their own unique way. But I feel a lot of athletes, celebrities, and brands miss that piece. It's like, can't just keep changing based off the current climate of where the world is. You got to be who you are and dive deep on that.
Got to stay
give somebody
true.
a platform to stand on to really support you as a brand or a person.
No, for
absolutely.
Sure. No, 100% say less, for sure. So I guess, tell me, do you have any new ventures taking place? You just kind of on cruise control with like the amusement parks in Jaxxon. Are you looking to dive into anything else? Does pickleball excite you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're talking pickleball, I think, can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
Yep, got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So pickleball, by the way. And one thing that I think that's so exciting, and why I loved reaching out to you and really learning from you, I think you're one of the greatest ambassadors the sport have. You truly show that anybody can play. You truly show that there's a competitive side to it, but you truly motivate people to want to go out there and play, because you show the activity is fun. The activity has style. The activity has a little soul. And, not a lot of athletes are good at doing that.
Yeah.
But one thing I love about pickleball is the inclusiveness of it. Like, sorry, I'm getting out of the car. I'm going to go in the crib.
All good.
But the inclusiveness of what you got going on is just unreal. Like, I love the fact from a sports level that you guys can go out there with your mom, your aunt, your grandma, your son, your kid, and all kind of be competitive and have a great time. Like, not too many sports or hobbies allow that.
Spot on.
And that's one thing that just shows that's one thing that just shows the amazing growth, but it also shows the amazing characteristics of the sport. Like, there's limitless potential for brands, and I think there's limitless potential for players transitioning from a pickleball celebrity to a mainstream sports celebrity.
Right. No, that's spot on, man.
So that's obviously like super exciting from a brand perspective, getting behind people like that.
Yeah. And now we're starting to see bigger brands, partner up with PPA, Hertz, some other brands like that. And I think that, the sport's only heading in the right direction. There's a gentleman that owns Major League Pickleball. His name's Steve Kuhn. His whole goal is to raise the population from, I believe it's 4 million now, to 40 million come 2030. His whole thing is 40 by 30. And I don't know what that does to the sport, what that does to my social media following, what that does to my YouTube channel, and just what that does to like the whole in general. It's wild. To think about those numbers and to think about how many racket sport athletes are starting to make their way over. And just like what you had mentioned, like, it's so inclusive, like anybody can play. Yeah. It caters to everybody. And it's just a fun time to be in the sport,
Yeah, from a sports perspective, like when you're looking at business, right? Like, a lot of investors and big dogs are coming into pickleball because obviously it's not what they're seeing today. It's what they're seeing in the future. It's growth, just like stocks, just like business, just like e-commerce companies. When I look at a D2C company or a company I want to invest into, I'm looking at what's the potential growth? Like, where can it go 5 years from now?
Right.
Is there room for it to grow? Is it already hitting that plateau or ceiling? Is there extensions of it that can blossom into other things? And one thing when you look at pickleball, it's like, okay, tennis, whether you have, let's say 20 million active users a year and player base, and then you have pickleball, which is like 4 or 5 million. But the growth rate to get to that 4 or 5 million was obviously a lot more accelerated than it took tennis, which is a worldwide sport, to get to 20. And so if you look at it in terms of that, then you look at it in terms of the ability for someone to pick up the sport and get right into it. And that's the exciting part. Like in paintball or airsoft, the activities and hobbies I'm involved in, they're amazing, right? You go on the weekend, you play with your family. It's the greatest parties. Right. But it's great for a party. It's great for an outing. The thing about pickleball is I could grab a racket, play with my guys for a workout. I could also go as a team bonding event, but I can also go to play an actual sport that makes me feel competitive. Yeah. So you get to really apply to all those bases of a person, whether they want to be competitive, play with their friends, go in a group outing. And that's the thing that I think will set pickleball way, way far advanced than what anybody else thinks it can do, because that gives you so much room for growth, so many legs for people to stand on, brands to support, players to jump in on. It's awesome. It's awesome what you got going on. And like I said, you, dude, are like one of the only reasons why I started watching pickleball, because you're screaming and yelling. You're my style. I'm Italian. I like to get a little wild.
Baby.
But like you're out there doing your thing. You're not scared to do it. And the crowd is so receptive of that and is like, reactive off every move you make, and people are going nuts. And it's like, bro, you can't get that at golf. You can't get that at tennis. It's like, I would hate to even compare them to those sports at this point, because it's such an immersive experience. You're high-fiving and dabbing people up on the side. It's like, bro, it's such an amazing thing. The PPA, everything you guys got going on. It's like, there's no reason why someone can't understand why it's growing so fast. It's like, it's evident if you go to one of these events.
Appreciate you, homie. Hey, and if you don't mind telling my viewers here, just how was your PPA experience? How did you feel like the tournament was run? How did you feel like championship court was? If you don't mind just kind of giving some of your insight on your PPA experience.
Yeah, so I brought my partner at Jaxxon. His name's Josh. I brought my guys from Honey Group, Loco and Vinny. I brought an agent from the Scott Boris agency, which is a big baseball agency, Danny Heaven. I brought like a bunch of my guys. And I was like, yo, we're all going to go support Tyson. We got to go check this thing out. PPA, Newport Beach. It's in our home court. And just the experience, like, let's just start from 1 through 10. You know what I mean? Like right from the beginning to the end. It's like you pull in, the staff knows what's going on. They're happy. They're friendly. There's signage everywhere. So from an event perspective, like they're nailing the ability to drive in people and understand what's going on. It's set up in a way where you can interact with people that are playing. It's set up in a way where you really can understand who's up next, what match is going on. There's vendors, there's people, the excitement's there. Even from a director standpoint, like the team they have there at the PPA, understanding like, yo, move these people here, get these people going there. Let's build excitement for this game. This game's about to start. I mean, from an event perspective, they couldn't have done better there. Now, the game itself, like the match itself, which is obviously why people are drawn to a sport, is exciting because of the players. Obviously, you were out there, you're smashing paddles, you're doing your thing, you're winning. It's just like, it's next level. And it's like, it's next level from, and listen, a lot of people would be like, oh my God, you're overhyping it. You're on his podcast, but I'm not, because if you really think about it, it's pickleball. So you're taking a game that people don't even know, and you're already branding it as such a game where it's exciting. There's excitement and there's people that are there, and everybody watching actually plays and can play, that it just makes the event more friendly. It makes the event better because everybody that's there is like, oh, I just played. I just did this. And damn, he's so good with that. It's like, you can't beat it. It was fantastic. I would advise anybody who's into pickleball or plays on the weekend, even friendly, to go check out a PPA event. Their staff, everything about it was class act.
Yeah, loved how all the boys came in black, wearing chains, looking sharp, fresh Jaxxon gear.
We came deep for you.
Come on, came and showed out. Come on, sitting front row, had the crew.
We had them going crazy. I think the judge or the ref, whatever you guys call it, came over to me and was like, "Yo, you got to tone it down when he serves." I said, "No, we don't roll like that. We trying to gas my boy up a little bit."
Oh man, gas me up. Unfortunately, for all my viewers out there who saw that massacre, Bear here is way too humble. But I did not play well. Kind of got beat up, but appreciate you boys coming, man. You guys showed up and showed out and brought me lots of support. So hey, tell me this.
Yeah.
Why what motivates you with all the hustle, man? I mean, it seems like you go from the time you wake up, from the time that you go to bed. Everybody that I guess I've met through you only talks about your hustle, only talks about your motivation. And I guess, where does all that come from?
Yeah, I mean, just like with anything, if you love what you do, I mean, you're not going to really be sleeping on the job. I think, like, obviously, like, you have to always start from the basics, right? Like, I grew up in a great family. My mom, my dad, always pumping me. They're my biggest support group, and they're always like, go get what you want. Go get what you want. Build a list of things that you want. When you accomplish that list, make a new list. Don't wait for that list to be done. Already start on your new list of ideas. But when it comes to like brands and investments and marketing, like, I truly love what I do. Obviously, when you're branding an event, or you're branding a brand, or you're building a brand, or you're marketing a brand, whatever term people are fixated on nowadays, there comes this sense of like, that's an extension of you. And when something's an extension of you, just like a wife or a kid, you want the best for that person. Well, I want the best for everything I'm a part of. And so if you go to sleep with this idea that like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do everything in my power for every brand and everything I'm involved with to be as good and as quality as it can. I mean, bro, the motivation's there on its own. I mean, for me right now, I would say the motivation for Jaxxon is to create this brand that every guy knows is an extension of themselves, right? Yeah. And I use that word loosely, but really, like, we're trying to create something here that hasn't really been done, which is, not a Tiffany's or a Cartier, which are well beyond most people's ability to afford, but something that is quality, timeless, classic. And there's so many differentiations of styles and materials that you could put it on at any moment. So every single day, whether that be working with Austin Eckler on the Chargers, working with Cheeto Vera at UFC, creating a campaign with Ryan Sheckler, legendary skateboarder, we're always trying to figure out new ways, new styles, new campaigns, new sets, new ways to shoot it. We don't even sell clothing, and I designed a full cut and sew collection that we sent out to about 500 athletes and influencers and content creators. So you have guys like DK Metcalf, Ivak Zubik, you have Chandler Jones on the Raiders, who just had that insane catch and, returned it for a touchdown. You have so many unique people that wear the brand and support the brand just from an idea, knowing that, hey, this brand stands for quality. This brand stands for something. And every day there's something going on with this brand. I mean, our first collaboration was with the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas, and it was like Diplo's DJing, and it was like the full experience. We had 200 people there. Everybody with love and support, and really just flying in with this idea of like, hey, we're all here to support each other because we all wear Jaxxon. Right. Most brands don't have that sense of family or that sense of unity and community because they really are just focused on the dollars. This will bring me one ROAS. This will bring me $5. This we could sell for 50% margin. We look at it as, we're building a platform to last the ages. So whether that be events, whether that be working with guys like you, whether that be working with influencers or content creators, whether that be working with the NBA or NFL, it's about creating a platform that allows everybody to be a part of. So you can imagine that, you would want to wake up every day and be really excited and really motivated to go accomplish everything you can.
And love the fact that you don't drink, you don't smoke. I mean,
I'm a full body athlete. I'm a full body athlete.
Baby, come on. Guy does it right, does everything to the best of his ability. That's awesome, man. I
mean, bro, I have no problem if people drink. I have no problem if people smoke or do whatever they do, right? Obviously, everybody will always use the word moderation. You do everything with moderation. I personally never needed to drink. I'm already crazy as it is. I never felt the need to smoke or do anything of that nature because, I always want to be focused. I always want to be sharp. If you have a tool, if you have an axe, if you have a sword, whatever it is your tool is that helps you perform your craft, you would always want it the sharpest. Right. And so for me, it's like, I always want to be the sharpest I can be. I'm trying to constantly elevate myself, as should anybody. Now, that's not just monetarily or financially or, in terms of status, but even in terms of your mind, your education, you should always want to be better. So if I can wake up every day, go to the gym, get some cardio in, be 220, maybe put down a little bit of the pizza and a little bit more of the chicken, lean up a little bit, then I want to do that. But I don't want to wake up all sluggish.
Right.
I want to have any head start I can. I got to compete against guys like LVMH and Cartier. So I need as much juice as I can get in the morning.
Yeah, love that, man. It's funny. I was talking to your content guy. I don't know what his name was. What's his name, by the way?
Loco Berry.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, like, why doesn't, Bear drink or smoke? And he's like, dude, he's got no time. Like he doesn't have time to be hungover for a couple hours in the morning. Like he's got no time. Hey, if you don't mind, tell my viewers here just what's a day like in the life of Bear.
Yeah. Well, not too crazy, but it's exciting. It's fun. Works for me. So in the morning we wake up, we have a quick little recap meeting of the day before. There's always one or two shoots going on. So, yesterday we just shot the Rotolo brothers. They're these famous 19-year-old grapplers who just won ADCC. They just won, one championship grappler of the year. We just did a deal with them. They're now, Jaxxon athletes. So we have a shoot with them. Then I had a FaceTime with Jock Peterson. He just signed that year deal with the Giant. So kind of working on a new collection with him of pearls since he was so famous with winning with the Braves with that. Come back, then we work on content strategy. We work on kind of the briefing of what we need to do to perform the best in terms of a brand. So whether that be mailers, TV ads, digital ads, new boxing, new packaging, whether that be working with the influencers and the celebrities themselves to figure out what they need to make their style and everyday looks better, and kind of taking that into consideration when we're designing the next campaign. And then kind of always meeting with the staff. I think one of the biggest things people forget to do, besides you should always want to carry yourself with a little bit of humbleness and grace, is that your staff and your team and the people that are around you should always be on the same page. Right. So if you don't have meetings, if you don't have check-ins, if you don't spend time with them, go eat with them, break some bread with them, make sure everybody's always on the same page. It's hard to kind of keep that flow and that conduit always open of people's creativity and that juice going back and forth. So besides that, it's kind of like settling that out. And then when the night falls, it starts all over again. We have, we got to do a little Nobu, a little Mastros, Javier, something good. Let the team eat, let people feel good and taken care of, the gym. And then most of the time at nighttime, it's, dropping packages off to people, meeting people, hanging out, catching up with people. It's just a lot of meeting and networking and content creation. Because for the most part, even if you're not doing photos and you're not doing videos, but you're just meeting with an influencer, you're meeting with a celebrity, meeting with a model. It's kind of just getting a feel for where they're at with the brand, what they need, what they want to see. Right. And then that constantly just keeps the wheels greased. It's just like a call center, right?
Keep greasing the wheels.
If you call 300 people a day, a year from now, you're not going to have to call anybody because you're going to have 20 or 30 calls coming in every day. Right. So for me, it's the same concept. If I can meet with 10 or 15 people a day, really kind of help them out, see how we could provide value and support to them, that will just always kind of flow. And then this engine kind of moves on its own. I've been doing that for a decade.
How many nights a week at Nobu? Tell me.
Well, no, I just throw it Nobu just because it's across the street from the house and everybody likes sushi. But I celebrate my birthdays there, so they're always super nice to me. And Javier's. Those are like my two spots, Javier's and Nobu. My only vice is I like to eat. People won't be like, this dude's so bougie, diamond chains, this guy's so bougie. Nah, I just like to eat. I like sushi. They got the best sushi. I like Mexican food. Oh, yeah. Javier's got the best Mexican food.
Boom, boom. So tell me, where do you guys play pickle at? You guys play at the Newport Club there? Or you guys play at a park or?
Yeah. We play at the Bonita Park, the Newport. We play right over here in Costa Mesa. Okay. We're building a little pickleball, a little challenge arena at Jaxxon. So then you'll be able to come into Jaxxon and smash everybody. Woo! But we're actually doing this, which is exciting for anybody who likes playing pickleball. It's good to support the communities. We're building it so that way we can have like influencers and celebrities challenge each other when they come to the office because we're already making content.
Easy.
And then use that as like video content so people can watch like their favorite baseball player smash on some TikTok kid. Yeah. And then that TikTok kid smash on some NFL player. And
so it's a perfect sport for that
little rivalry.
Yeah, of course.
Because anybody who comes in the office, the first thing we do is we challenge to a game of ping pong. Okay. And the boys in the office, they're great at ping pong. You saw them. You were doing a little work. Oh yeah. But we want to take that to the next level this year. So we feel like pickleball is the perfect battle.
Yeah. It's funny. I had Cheeto on before you, right? And he was telling me that at RBCA at their training center that they have a court in the back, and he was telling me every day for them to kind of like do like their dynamic warm up or just like their basic warm up, they actually play pickle for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. Pat Tenori, a good friend of mine, he owns Ruka. Okay. It's right over here in Costa Mesa. It's one of the most like legendary, surf and skate brands, streetwear style brands. And they're definitely heavy in sport now. But they put the pickleball like court in there right by the gym where all the UFC trainers train. It's like where BJ Penn won his world championship, Perillo, the head coach, Nito boxing. So all these guys that come in there, they're all lethal weapons. And then you walk in there and it's like Cheeto and Luke Rockhold playing a game of pickleball, Perillo, Pat's kids, like everybody's battling. And it's like, honestly, it's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting to see that, like, obviously, once again, pickleball bringing the community together, bringing many different people, different minded people, but with the same like-minded concept of, hey, let's have some fun. but at the same time, it starts building that competitive spirit. So it's cool.
Yeah, very much so. All right, my man. Last question here. Crazy party story, or I know you were telling me you guys take a PJ over to Vegas. All the boys go. I mean, obviously, keep it PG-13. But what's something wild that you've been a part of?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of an open-ended question. Yeah, I mean, over the years, like, to originally build Honey Group, it was the course of 5 or 6 years of dealing with, like, some of the biggest celebrities and rappers and influencers, from Jake Paul to Chief Keef, to all these unique people that are so awesome. And I built like a really cool Rolodex. Well, in the Rolodex of that, I kind of built this in a way where I was like, okay, cool. I have a good understanding of how to work with different people and kind of understand what people need to deliver the best content and deliver the best form of themselves. And in the process of that, that's what came out of that was my agency. Right. And that's how I have such a unique network. In the process of building that agency, I met this one person who just happened to be one of the most chaotic but kindest person ever, which you may not, understand. His name's Dan Bilzerian. Okay. So this guy is like, I can't even explain it to people with the life this guy lives. I mean, you show up to his house, there's 13 guys in front of his house with ARs, and there's like full-time security. There's 35 girls inside his house, like, somewhat clothed. Yeah, right. Not really. Right. There's a full pool party going on. There's chefs. There's, coconut water brought in from Fiji by hand. Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on in this house. It's just the craziest thing. And one time he goes, "Hey, Bear, I want to rent out the paintball park for the day, SC Village, the park in Chino." I go, "Yeah, whatever you need, Dan." This guy's like the nicest guy, right? So a lot of people have misconceptions about him. He's very honest, brutally honest, but the nicest. And he goes, "Yo, dude, I got Uber." It was like the first ever Uber helicopter. I might even have a photo, actually. And it was like the first ever Uber helicopter. And he's like, "I'm going to fly in this helicopter. I want to land it in the middle of the park. And then I want to play paintball." And I'm like, "Dan, yeah, it's right here. That's the Uber helicopter. That's the first one ever." And this is like in 2013. Right. So it's like Uber's first. I don't know if you can even see that. Yeah, got it. So, and it's like, and I'm like, "All right, cool. What are you going to do?" He's like, "I'm going to land this thing and I'm going to go play paintball. And then we're going to go back to my house and have a full blown party." So the guy lands the helicopter at my SC Village paintball park, hops out. There's like 15 Rolls Royces that roll into the park. Everybody's like ready to play paintball as if this is just a normal day, and I'm like 21, 22. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if this is that normal. Maybe it is. And so they all start hopping out to who's who at the time of NBA players and NFL players. I don't want to say any names. Yeah, and they're all battling, playing paintball. Dan takes off his shirt. He's like, 2 versus 1. Whoever beats me, you're going to get something tonight. I'm not going to say what it is. No one could beat the guy. The guy takes off his shirt and smokes everybody in a 2 ver's 1 paintball battle. And the dude's ripped. I'm like, oh, he's shredded. Right. Bro, the guy is shredded. Yeah. Okay. He's like the real deal. Yeah. And the guy knows how to fight. He knows how to, he's like crazy. He's a little bit of everything. He's the most interesting man in the world. I'm like, "Yo, you beat everybody. You have no shirt on. Can we still have the party at your house?" And he's like, and I'm like 21 at the time. So I'm like, I want to go party and see what's going on. I still don't drink, still don't smoke. I just like to eat, talk to girls and say hi to people and see what's going on. Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, party's still going on." We get to his house. There's like a 6x6 Mercedes G-Wagon parked on his front door, like kind of like about to drive in the car, like in the house. And I'm like, "What?" And I like go around the car and I walk in the house, and I had never seen this many girls in my life in one house, in the pool, outside the pool, walking around, doing whatever they wanted to do. This guy, it's like Steve Aoki's DJing or something. This is like a Tuesday night. Steve Aoki's DJing randomly. There's like people like in the back playing poker. Low key Tuesday night. And we're in the Hollywood Hills, at the top of the Hollywood Hills, like Blue Jay Canyon area. And I'm like, is this real life? There's like security guards with ARs everywhere. And I'm like scared. I'm like looking at these guys like, is that a real gun or like an airsoft gun? Or what is that thing? A toy gun? And they're like, those are real deal. I'm like, I'm not going to talk to that guy. There's like girls walking up to me like, "Hey, you're so cute. How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 21, 22. They're like, "All right, you're too young for me, next." And I'm just like, there's like waiters walking around with appetizers. I'm like that guy in the movie. I'm just sitting by the meatballs, just like throwing down meatballs. And I'm like, "Yo, this is the craziest experience of my life." He walks over. He's like, "Yo, you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just trying to figure this all out. I'm trying to soak it all in." He's like, "Nah, it's all right. Just do your thing." And I'm just like staring there by myself. And I'm like, wow, this is exciting. And this is like the start of my like era of hanging out with this guy, you know, for years. You know, I've some insane stories with this guy, but yeah, I mean, it's always been like these stories are always exciting when you're there living it in the moment. You're young. You're kind of like naive. You don't really know what the world has to offer. And then you walk into a house like this and it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, like the doors open and you're like, what in the world? So it's cool. It's always good to go from that and then like come back to the office and you're dealing with the boys and you're like,
exactly.
Back to reality. And it's kind of good offset balance. And it's like, that's obviously been one of the main things that I've always been able to have a little bit of like constraint and dedication on in terms of like, yo, you have a discipline, like go party all night, but you don't drink, you don't smoke, you have no excuse not to get up in the morning and get right back in the office and grind. And you got to go get what you want, you know, it's not going to be handed to you.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that, my man. Hey, so tell me, how can my viewers find you on socials and how can they purchase some of that icy jewelry?
Amazing. Yeah. So if you go to Instagram, it's just at Bear Degidio. And then Jaxxon.com has, you know, all the unique styles, all the chains, all the bracelets, new pearl collection, iced out chains, rings, a little bit of everything. We just dropped the whole collection of earrings. We also have women's product dropping next year, jewelry cases, a bunch of unique things. And if you sign up for text and emails, you'll get a little something special there, save a little $1. And there's new styles every week dropping in 2023. So we're excited with that. Also with the onboarding of some new athletes, Cody Bellinger, Joey Gallo, Ryan Sheckler, Cheeto Vera, and then just the Rotolo brothers as well. And then we have some pro skaters that just came on board. So been an exciting kind of off season for us in 2022, and hopefully going into 2023 we can outdo what we did this year.
Keep it moving, keep it pushing. Nothing but high level always. when it comes to Bear. Nothing but high level.
Always. You want to be the best. You got to strive to be the best, you know. And when you're dealing with these brands like Nike, who have Ronaldo and LeBron James and Puma and Adidas and all these brands who have like the highest athletes in the world and celebrities in the world, it sets the bar for where you want to go.
For sure.
So obviously we want to work with the best. When it comes to pickleball, we only want to work with Tyson McGuffin.
You know it, my man. All right, well, hey, let's find a date that works. Let's get all the employees together. Would love to come out there, work with you guys, go to Nobu.
They would love
get
that.
Some good seafood.
They would love that.
Yeah, for sure.
They would love that. You can't go easy on them though. They all get big headed.
No, don't worry. I'll be bringing the gas. Well, hey, bro.
I need a pair of those Skechers shoes. Hey, I need a pair of those Skechers shoes.
You know it. Got
ASAP.
you. I got you. I just got some new blackies,
ASAP.
by the way. The blackies are hot.
The Skechers joints you showed me were the hottest shoes of 2023. Guaranteed.
I want to say thanks for coming on, bro. Truly respect you. Can't wait to see you again. And let's keep moving. Let's have a good 23. You know it.
Of course. Thank you for everything, bro. Keep being an inspiration.
All right, my man. Thank you.